Hi, it's Sandy Wiley. Like my little skating pond? Today's video is going to be about jealousy. At some point, everyone can't deny that they've been jealous of someone, right? I want it, they have it, and life's unfair. Life's a itch, as they say. I felt the green-eyed monster. No, we're not talking about the wall at Fenway Park. We're talking about that green-eyed monster called jealousy. You know, that rage, that feeling coming up your throat, and just like making your face red, and like life's so unfair. How come that person, gets right? How come that person gets paid to do a YouTube when I do all these videos and I'm not monetized yet? I see someone else on YouTube who's not famous now, okay? We're not talking about a star or something like that, or a musician. We're talking about your average Joe, right? Making money on YouTube when I put out like several videos a day and I'm still not monetized. Yeah, that gets me jealous. Or what about you starve to death, right? You don't eat and you can't lose a pound. And there's that skinny itch. Can't say it here. And she's eating whatever she wants. Ice cream sundaes, and she's stick skinny. And like, you have to starve and you can't lose a friggin' pound. What about that? Is that fair? Or why'd that person get the job and not me, And oh, gee, that guy got all the babes, right? I can't get laid at all. I haven't had sex in years. Okay, you know what I mean, right? You know what I'm talking about. Everyone has everything, and you have nothing. Or everything that you want, yep, the other guy has it. Someone else has it. And guess what? They don't even deserve it, do they? No siree. They don't deserve it. You deserve it because, you're exercising. You're going to the gym every day. You're on the treadmill, sweating and killing yourself. You're starving. You just eat a tiny little yogurt and an apple all day. But you can't lose weight. And there's that skinny little... And look at her, waffing down, a whole sandwich with a bag of chips. Damn, You get it, right? Well, look at that guy, He's so ugly. What's the babe doing on his arm, huh? How come I can't get anyone? See, we all experience jealousy. So, walk down further here. So what are we going to do about it, huh? It doesn't feel good, does it? It never feels good to feel jealous, I don't... Usually if I'm jealous, okay, it means I want something someone else has. So what I try to do is get that thing that someone else has, so I'm no longer jealous. Like, for instance, Paris. I've always been jealous if someone's going off to Paris or Venice, because I so badly wanted to go. I wanted to go. So I went, and now I'm no longer jealous. But it doesn't always work that way, right? It was like when I was trying to have a baby, everyone else was having babies, and I was infertile for years. After I had a miscarriage, I had scar tissue, and I couldn't get pregnant. And then, of course, who got pregnant? My mother's favorite girl, her best friend's daughter, Becca. And guess what? She had a baby girl. And guess what she named that baby girl? Sarah. And when I had the miscarriage, guess what name I picked out for my baby that died? Sarah. Talk about ironic and severe and insanity jealousy. Yeah. So eventually I had my Alex and my Austin, so I'm no longer jealous of her or any other mothers. But, you don't always get what you want and what someone else has right away. or sometimes not at all, you know. What do you do about the jealous feelings then? How do you deal with jealousy? That's tough, because my advice is, if you're jealous of someone, figure out what they have that you want and get it. But I understand life doesn't always work that way. And during certain parts of my life, it didn't work that way. It took a long, long time for it to work that way. So what do you do in the meantime? Oh, what do I do? Well, I try to do my best to get as close to what I want as I can, you know, because I think that's the whole thing. That's what stirs jealousy, is you just want something that the other person has that you don't, right? Because you're not going to be jealous of someone who has something that you don't want, right? Of course not, right? It could be anything, you know. Maybe you want attention from someone and someone else is getting it and you're not getting it. But if you don't want attention from that person and someone else is getting it, you're not going to care, so you're not going to be jealous. So what do you do? What do you do to combat that jealousy? Oh, I love water. I love it out here. This is the wetlands. And I told you I'd bring you out here again, and we're near water. So what do you do? Well, I try to do the next best thing, okay? The next best thing. For instance, I wanted to go to Paris, and we booked Paris, okay? And then this thing called COVID came along, so I couldn't go. And I was just so angry. I waited my whole life to go to Paris, and like this was my turn to go to Paris. We finally had enough money, and, you know, I didn't have to worry about my children. You know, like when they were younger, I couldn't leave my children. I wouldn't leave my children alone. Not with my parents. Oh my God, no. So, yeah, the children we didn't need to worry about. The money situation was finally fine. But then guess what happened? COVID. And shut everything down. Boy, was I livid. So what did I do? What did I do? I went to Aruba. I didn't plan to go to Aruba, and Aruba wasn't on my bucket list, right? But I did the next best thing. The travel agent said Aruba's open during the pandemic. Hardly anyone was there. We had the place practically all to ourselves, but it was open. And guess what? Even though I didn't plan to go to Aruba, or even though it wasn't on my bucket list or anything, I loved Aruba. It was gorgeous. You have to go to Aruba. Okay, so that's a circumstance where I didn't get what I want. I was jealous that other people got to go to Paris. And the one time I booked Paris, the very first time I booked it in my life, I waited my whole life. Guess what came along? A pandemic, right? Of all things, to prevent me from going. But eventually the pandemic, you know, wound down, and Paris reopened, and I just went in July. Okay, but then I couldn't go, so I just went to Aruba. So what I'm trying to say is, if you're jealous of someone, obviously because they have something you can't have, try to get what you can have, you know? All right, say weight. You're starving yourself and you can't lose that weight. Well, try to just be happy at the point of success you are at. In other words, accept yourself where you're at and try to be happy with that. I know it's easier said than done, right? Like if I can't lose, all right, say I need to lose 20 pounds and I can't. Maybe I can only lose 5. Accept the 5 and try to maybe strive for a little bit more, but just forget about the 20. Maybe it's just too hard to starve myself to lose 20 pounds, you know, to keep 20 pounds off. It's just not worth it in the end, you know? Or what about jealousy of a person? You know what? If you're going to be jealous of someone else's affection, they're not worth it. They're really not worth it. So if some other guy is giving another gal the time and not me, that guy isn't worth it. He's not worth it. If he doesn't give me the time, then kiss him goodbye, you know? He's not worth it. What about jealous of someone getting the better job or better grades? It can go on and on, right? just try to figure out what you want out of life and go after that. And don't make comparisons to other people. Even though sometimes what you want, everyone else seems to have at that moment and not you. So what do you do then? You know, just keep working. Like, okay, for instance, okay, people on YouTube getting money. I don't get a penny doing this. You know, I take time doing all these videos. Now, February will be 3 years I've done videos, okay? They were karaoke, now they're mental health. But I still put a lot of time and effort into it. I do it 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I have to, edit them, upload them, download them, and then I market them. I post them everywhere. I just don't put it on YouTube and walk away. I put the link everywhere. I mean, so I market myself. I put myself all over the internet. And after almost 3 years, I'm still not making money. I've got over 1,000 subscribers, and you need 1,000, okay? I got everything checked off except watch time. I need to have 4,000 hours of watch time in a rolling year. I don't even have half that. I think I have 1,400 something watch time. I don't even have half of 4,000, which would be 2,000. Not even half the watch time. And I'm making much longer videos. So I try to use a strategy. Okay, you don't have half the watch time. What are these other people doing that you're not doing? They're making longer videos. My karaoke videos were 2 or 3 minutes. Now I'm doing mental health videos, and they're much longer. They're on the average, they're like 15 minutes, maybe 12 to 15 minutes. That's the average. That's like triple the time of the karaoke videos. So I'm making longer videos, and I only started doing that maybe, I don't know, the last month, maybe a few weeks, a month or so, something like that. So I try to use a different strategy to get what I love talking about psychology. I love talking about things, in the world that affect me and affect you, and so we share that common bond between us. I've always liked that. I've written books on Amazon, and they don't get enough money. And of course I get jealous because I recently read this book this maid wrote, okay? She's a maid, and she wrote a book about cleaning homes. Now, she got out of an abusive relationship, and she put herself through school. But still, she's not a famous person. She's a maid. And she's on the bestseller list, okay? I'm not knocking her. I think it's great she put herself through school. She did it by cleaning homes. I think that's great. What I'm jealous about is all the books, and this was her first book. I've written like dozens of books, like maybe 30, and I don't get any recognition. Maybe a few people buy it here and there. Okay, to tell you a fact, one person bought one book last month. One person bought one book this month. Maybe sometimes they buy 2 or 3 in a month. That's it. Okay? But this woman is selling thousands and thousands and thousands. She's like, traditionally published. And what did she write about? She wrote about the home she cleaned. She did not clean she didn't clean Oprah's home or anyone who's famous's home. She cleaned ordinary people's homes. She was a maid, an ordinary person, cleaning the average person's home, not like movie stars or politicians. And now she's on the bestsellers list because she wrote about it. I'm writing about, my brain-damaged son who was in the hospital for 2 years. My father was schizophrenia. A Harvard, well-known, renowned Harvard psychologist who abused me, having a sexual affair with another psychologist who abused me, lawyers and boards, and I've got all this juicy, really, I've got a lot. I mean, I've got quite a lot that I shared in my books, and I'm saying, you know what? Damn, but I think it's much more interesting than a woman cleaning homes. Why is she on the bestseller list? I can't wrap my head, I just can't wrap my head around it, and that's jealousy. I know that's the green-eyed monster talking, right? So what do I do about it? What do I do? I just try to keep going day to day, trying to give it my all, you know? So if I'm not going to be on top, guess what? I'm going to go down. I'm going to die trying. That's my logo. If I'm not going to be on top, I'm going to die trying, okay? You're going to have to bury me and say, well, up to the last day she died, she still was putting them videos out. She still was self-publishing all her books. She still was doing it. She never gave up once. And if it wasn't meant to be, it's through no fault of my own, because I did all I could. I gave 110%. I wrote every single day. I published a book every 6 months. I'm not lying. Every 6 months, another book gets published. I work 7 days a week. I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I work till 12 or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You know how many hours that is? 7 days a week, okay? Without a break, even on holidays. And so I haven't made it yet, and I probably never will, but I'm never giving up. I'm going to do it and give it all I got till the very end. And that's all I can suggest that you guys do too. Just keep going. Just keep doing it, you know, and just keep giving it your best. So that's my little talk about jealousy. You know, in the comments, tell me some of the things you're jealous of, or how you help to overcome your own jealousies. And signing off until next time.